The day I discovered I had legally disappeared, I wasn't standing in a courtroom. I was standing at my grandmother's funeral, holding a bouquet of white lilies, when a stranger looked me in the eyes and said, "You can't sit with the immediate family. Emma Brooks is already seated." I smiled politely, assuming it was a misunderstanding. Then I looked toward the front row, and saw my own sister wearing my name like it belonged to her. She wasn't just pretending to be me. She had stolen my identity. My driver's license. My social security number. My inheritance. Even my place beside the woman who had raised me. Everyone believed her. No one believed me. What my sister didn't know was that Grandma Margaret had expected betrayal long before she died. And she had left behind one secret letter, meant only for me. My name is Emma Brooks, and this is the story of how my own sister stole my identity to inherit our grandmother's fortune, until one forgotten envelope destroyed every lie she had built. Growing up, people always thought Sophia and I were close. We smiled in family photos, shared birthdays, spent Christmas under the same roof. But pictures only show faces. They never show jealousy. Sophia was 3 years older. Beautiful. Popular. The kind of person who could walk into any room and instantly become the center of attention. I was different. Quiet. Bookish. I preferred helping Grandma bake apple pies to going to parties. Grandma used to laugh and say, "Emma, the loudest flowers aren't always the strongest." At the time, I didn't understand what she meant. Years later, those words would save my life. Our grandmother, Margaret Brooks, wasn't just the heart of our family. She was one of the most successful women in our county. After Grandpa passed away, she expanded the family's real estate business herself. Apartment buildings, shopping centers, commercial offices. By the time she turned 82, her estate was worth nearly $28 million. But she never acted rich. She drove the same old silver sedan, cooked every Sunday, remembered every employee's birthday. She believed wealth wasn't measured by money. It was measured by character. Unlike Sophia, I never cared about Grandma's fortune. Every Saturday, I'd drive 2 hours to visit her. We'd drink tea, work in her rose garden, play old records. Sometimes we'd talk for hours. Other times, we'd simply sit on the porch watching the sunset. Grandma once smiled at me and said, "Emma, when people know money is involved, they stop showing you who they are. They start showing you what they want." I laughed, thinking she was talking about strangers. She wasn't. Sophia rarely visited, unless she needed something. A new car, a business investment, another loan. Grandma always helped, but every check came with one condition. "You'll pay it back." Sophia never did. Eventually, for nearly 5 minutes, I stood outside the church staring at the tiny brass key in my hand. It was old, worn smooth with age. On the back, Grandma had engraved 2 tiny initials. E.B. Emma Brooks. Not Sophia. Me. Whatever Grandma had hidden, she had hidden it for only one person. Instead of following everyone to the attorney's office, I drove straight to Grandma's estate. The mansion looked strangely empty. The gardeners had already gone home. The fountain had been turned off. Only the old blue mailbox remained beside the front gate. It had stood there since I was a little girl. Grandma never used it. She always collected the mail herself. As a child, I once asked why she never replaced it. She smiled and said, "Some things are more valuable than they appear." At the time, I thought she meant memories. Now, I wasn't so sure. With trembling hands, I inserted the brass key. The lock clicked open immediately. Inside, there wasn't any mail. Only a single navy blue envelope. Across the front, Grandma's elegant handwriting read, "If you're reading this, someone has stolen your life." My heart nearly stopped. She knew. Months before she died, she had known. I carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter and a small flash drive. The letter began. My dearest Emma. If this letter has reached you, then I was right. Tears filled my eyes. She continued. I noticed someone requesting copies of your birth certificate. Then someone tried accessing my financial records using your identification. I hired a private investigator. My hands began shaking. The next sentence made my stomach turn. The investigator confirmed. Your sister, Sophia, has been pretending to be you for nearly 8 months. I couldn't breathe. 8 months. She hadn't stolen my identity overnight. She had planned it. Grandma continued. I confronted Sophia privately. She denied everything. But lies always leave footprints. Inside the envelope, Grandma had included photographs. Sophia entering the county records office. Sophia using my driver's license. Sophia meeting with someone outside a bank. There were copies of fake documents. Forged signatures. Even surveillance photos. Every piece of evidence had dates. Times. Witnesses. Grandma had documented everything. Then I noticed the flash drive. Written across it. One word. Evidence. I immediately drove to Mr. Harrison's office. He looked surprised to see me. Emma, I thought. He stopped speaking. Because he suddenly realized. The woman sitting inside his conference room wasn't me. It was Sophia. I quietly placed Grandma's letter on his desk. Then the flash drive. His face changed instantly. What is this? My grandmother's insurance policy. He inserted the flash drive into his computer. A video appeared. Grandma was sitting in her favorite chair, looking directly into the camera. My name is Margaret Brooks. If anyone other than my granddaughter Emma claims my estate, please continue watching. Mr. Harrison slowly leaned forward. So did I. Grandma calmly continued. I have reason to believe someone may attempt identity fraud. I've instructed investigators to document everything. The screen changed. Surveillance footage appeared. Sophia entering government offices. Sophia signing documents. Sophia presenting my driver's license. Then, the investigator appeared. I personally witnessed Sophia Brooks identifying herself as Emma Brooks on 7 separate occasions. Mr. Harrison looked stunned. He whispered, "My God." Just then, his assistant rushed into the office. "Sir, the family is asking why the inheritance meeting has stopped." He looked at me, then smiled. I think it's time they learned the truth. 15 minutes later, every family member was seated around Grandma's long mahogany dining table. Sophia stood confidently beside the attorney. She wore a satisfied smile. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. I'd like to begin by introducing the real Emma Brooks. The room fell silent. Sophia laughed. What kind of joke is this? Mr. Harrison didn't answer. Instead, he pressed play. Grandma's video filled the room. Within seconds, every smile disappeared. No one spoke. No one moved. They watched every piece of evidence. Every forged document. Every surveillance photograph. Every lie. When the video ended, Grandma looked directly into the camera. If Sophia is watching this, I still love you. But love does not excuse betrayal. Then she looked toward me. Emma, truth always arrives. It just doesn't always arrive quickly. The screen went black. Sophia's face had turned completely white. She slowly stood. This was all staged. Mr. Harrison calmly opened another folder. No. It was verified by state investigators. He placed several official reports onto the table. Then quietly added, "We've already contacted the authorities." Sophia looked around the room, searching for someone, anyone, to defend her. No one did. Her own husband stepped backward. Our cousins avoided eye contact. Even our uncle quietly shook his head. For the first time in her life, Sophia stood completely alone. Then Mr. Harrison reached beneath the table. He removed one final envelope. Cream-colored. sealed with Grandma's wax stamp. Across the front, only 6 handwritten words appeared. Open only after the truth wins. He carefully broke the seal, looked inside, then slowly smiled. He looked directly at me. Emma, your grandmother had one final surprise. The room was so quiet. You could hear the grandfather clock ticking in the hallway. No one spoke. No one even looked at Sophia anymore. Every pair of eyes was fixed on the cream-colored envelope resting in Mr. Harrison's hands. Across the front, Grandma had written only 6 words. Open only after the truth wins. Mr. Harrison carefully unfolded the letter. He adjusted his glasses, then began reading. To my family. If this letter is being read, then Emma has already proven who she truly is. Tears filled my eyes. Grandma continued. Money reveals character. Some people become generous. Others become greedy. I spent my final year watching both happen. The room remained silent. No one dared interrupt. Mr. Harrison turned the page. My estate has never been about rewarding the person who shares my blood. It was always meant to protect the person who shared my values. I lowered my head, trying not to cry. Grandma's words sounded exactly like her. Gentle, honest, strong. Then came the sentence that changed everything. I leave my entire estate, including all real estate holdings, the Brooks Foundation, my investment portfolio, and every controlling business share, to my granddaughter. Mr. Harrison looked directly at me. Emma Brooks. Gasps echoed around the room. $28 million. Every asset. Every property. Everything. Sophia shot to her feet. No. That's impossible. There has to be another will. Mr. Harrison calmly shook his head. This is the newest legally executed document. She pointed at me. She manipulated Grandma. I quietly looked at my sister. For the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt sad. Because greed had stolen something much bigger than money. It had stolen her family. Just then, 2 detectives entered the dining room. One of them approached Sophia. Ms. Sophia Brooks. She stepped backward. What is this? The detective calmly replied. We have a warrant regarding identity theft, forgery, and financial fraud. The color disappeared from her face. She looked toward our relatives. Somebody say something. Nobody moved. Nobody defended her. Even our uncle quietly turned away. As officers escorted Sophia toward the front door, she suddenly stopped. Then slowly turned toward me. Tears streamed down her face. I'm your sister. You can't let this happen. I walked closer. Only a few feet separated us. Then I quietly answered. I didn't do this. You did. She lowered her head. For the first time in years, she had nothing left to say. The detectives led her away. The front door closed. And just like that, the lies ended. Several relatives began apologizing. My aunt cried. I should have believed you. A cousin whispered. I'm so sorry, Emma. I smiled gently. I understand. When lies are repeated long enough, they begin sounding like truth. Mr. Harrison wasn't finished. There is one final instruction. He opened another folder. Margaret Brooks established a charitable trust. I looked surprised. A charitable trust? He nodded. $5 million. Dedicated to helping women recover after financial abuse and identity theft. My eyes filled with tears again. Even after everything she'd endured, Grandma was still helping strangers. He smiled at me. Emma. She named you chairwoman. For a moment, I couldn't speak. Then I quietly whispered, I'll make her proud. 6 months later, the Brooks Foundation officially opened. Women from across the country came seeking legal assistance, emergency housing, financial education, identity restoration. Every woman who walked through those doors reminded me how easily one lie can destroy a life, and how one act of kindness can rebuild it. As for the family business, I kept every employee. No layoffs. No unnecessary spending. Every Christmas, we closed the offices for 2 full weeks. Paid bonuses. Hosted dinner for every employee and their families. Because Grandma always believed, success means nothing if you forget the people who helped you reach it. One afternoon, I visited Grandma's rose garden. The same wooden bench still overlooked the flowers she planted decades earlier. I sat quietly, holding the last letter she'd ever written. Inside, there was one sentence I had somehow missed. Emma, if revenge ever feels sweeter than peace, choose peace. I smiled through tears, because I finally understood. The greatest revenge was never taking everything from Sophia. The greatest revenge was refusing to become like her. A year later, I received a handwritten letter. No return address. Inside was a single page. Emma, I'm attending counseling. For the first time, I'm learning that I spent my entire life competing with someone who never saw me as competition. I'm sorry. It was signed Sophia. I folded the letter carefully, placed it inside Grandma's Bible. Not because the past had disappeared, but because forgiveness begins when someone finally chooses the truth. People often believe an inheritance is measured in dollars, or houses, or businesses. My grandmother left me something far greater. She left me courage, integrity, and one simple lesson. Your name is the most valuable thing you'll ever own. Protect it. Live with honor. And never let someone else's greed convince you to become someone you're not. Because fortunes can be stolen. Property can be taken. Even identities can be forged. But character can never be counterfeited.